Hello, this is Dr. Dheeraj Masapu. I'm a senior consultant in the field of neuroanesthesiology. And today we have Dr. Abhijit with us. He's a medical student and he does an excellent research, okay, in the field of career and advancement in different and the scope of different specialities. So today we're going to focus on the paraclinical and preclinical subjects, mainly the first and second year subjects, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and pharmacology, pathology, community medicine, and forensic medicine. So about these specialties are not covered in detail in my channel till now. So Avijit has done his research and he is going to enlighten us about the scope of all these specialties. Welcome to the channel, Avijit.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity for sharing my research to everyone through your platform. And I'm really very much concerned about the future of these subjects because what is actually happening that all the meritorious students are taking up branches like radiology or medicine or orthopedics and all. So what are the future for these branches? What I have seen recently that in NEET PG, UC seats in UCMS, like colleges like UCMS and MAMC in Delhi or VMMC, these seats were not filled till the rank for 20,000 also. And if we consider the clinical branches, all these like general medicine seats have been filled under 20. So why this disparity? Why we are while medical students are not keeping their eye on the paraclinical branches, why it is only the four walls of the room, your stethoscope and your chair is the one in which you want to keep yourself restricted? Why don't you look outside it? Why don't you look into the public health? Why don't you look into the researches and all? So the firstly, I think the name which is given, the preclinical and the paraclinical, most of the medical students also say that these are non-clinical branches. But instead of saying the non-clinical, we must see them either preclinical or paraclinical, because the base of the clinical is base of these branches only. If you don't know about the anatomy and the physiology and the biochemistry, there is no way you can understand any higher subject like medicine, surgery, ortho, radio, anything. So I will be covering it I will be covering the scope of the pre and paraclinical branches by firstly explaining the sectors in which they can get the work. So the first one is the government sector. In government sector and in private sector, in both of these sectors, the major recruiter of these branches are the teaching. In government, you have your state government colleges and your central government colleges. Both of them release their own vacancies for assistant professor and further then associate professor. In central institute, there is a higher grade which is known as additional professor, then professor. And in state government, after associate professor, it is directly the post for professor. So in central institutes, what is actually required? You have to complete your MBBS, then you have to complete your 3 years of post graduation, and after that you have to complete your 3 years of senior residency. And after completion for your 3 years of senior residency and having a good amount of research score and publication under a good guide, then you will be eligible for becoming an assistant professor in central institute. But in state government institutes, if you exclude the union territories, and in all the states, mostly 1 year of senior residency after your post graduation is required for becoming assistant professor. At the level of assistant professor, so assistant professor is like the initial level for a permanent faculty. At this level, you will be teaching the first year students and first or second year students, depending upon your subjects. If you are in anatomy, physiology, or biochemistry, you will be teaching students of first year. And I think dealing with first year students is itself is an art, because a first year student who had just qualified their NEET examination, who are in the drop year or class 12, and they just entered in the medical field, it is very hard to explain them that what is the way to study what is the way to study in MBBS, what are the ethics of the field, and how what is the approach they should build. So it is a bit challenging. Then you will further get promoted to associate professor and professor. In central institutes, the in most of the central institutes, like in central institutes, if I also divide it, so there are some institutes which are under the central health services, like your MAMC or your VMMC, LHMC, and these are 3 4 institutes only which are under CHS. In these institutes, there is a time bound promotion, a total time bound promotion. After your 2 years of assistant professor, doesn't matter there is a vacancy or not, you will be promoted to associate professor, doesn't matter how much your publications are. And after being 3 years of associate professor, you will be promoted to professor. But in some central institute which are autonomous, like in all the aims, in NIMHANS or in PGI Chandigarh, or other also colleges which are following their format, in these type of colleges, mostly they are not linked to vacancies, but they are linked to your research score. So if you are having a good research score and you will be and you have qualified that particular time, then you will get promoted. And aims, I think initially the minimum time is actually 3 years, but from 3 to 4 years everyone gets promoted to from assistant professor to associate professor. But in aims and NIMHANS and PGI, you cannot directly become professor, you will be becoming an additional professor, and after that you will be promoted to the level of professor. So for becoming the level for getting the level of professor, it takes around 11 or 12 years in these central institutes. In state government institutes, it varies a lot, because in most of the state government institutes, it is the vacancy based promotions, which you have to take up. Because like in state government, there is not that much of fund which they can give to their employees. So what actually they follow a simple vacancy base, that in most of the departments there is one post of professor, 1 or 2 post of professor, 2 or 3 posts of associate professor, and remaining 3 or 4 post of assistant professor, and they will be having only that particular number of faculties. So in this point, it depends upon you that how fast you will get promoted. If you are ready to leave your one college to get into some other college which is newly opened, and then again wait for vacancies in some other college, and leave this college to get into that other college. So if you are that much active, and if you are and if you are that much career oriented, then you will get promotions very fast. I have seen people in these paraclinical and preclinical branches who have got all their promotions in first or second attempt. But if you consider living at a particular place and spending your time in a particular college, then you have to wait to get promotions in your college only, because you will get to like when you became assistant professor, you will be becoming associate professor only when some professor will retire and one associate professor will become professor, and that particular vacancy for associate professor will be left. So that's why in some places you will see that some faculties have taken a lot of time to become associate professor from assistant professor, and on the other hand there are some faculties which have got promoted too quickly, because they were ready to go to new places, to newly opened colleges at higher places. In private medical colleges, this hierarchical system is not that strict. You will definitely find your hierarchy above your hierarchy above clear. So the minimum eligibility for becoming associate professor after assistant professor is by being assistant professor for 4 years, and after that, after being at a level of associate professor for 3 years, you will be getting promoted to the level of professor. So in private medical colleges, if you are having a good amount of research and if you are having a good bond with your college, then you will get promoted time bound. And otherwise there are a lot of internal politics in private medical colleges also, but that's a different issue. Talking about the salaries, so the central government pays equally in all the parts of India. And when you are in a government job, it doesn't matter that in which specialty you are. Even if you are a radiologist, you will be getting the same pay, the which is designed to a pathologist or a forensic medicine specialist and all. So in central government institutes, the initial pay for assistant professor is around 1.82 lakhs, and after getting promoted to associate professor, it increases around 2.4, 2.5 lakhs. At the level of additional professor, it is around 2.8, 2.9 lakhs, and at the level of professor, it is around 3.2 to 3.3 lakhs. There is a variation in transport allowance and house and residential allowance depending upon city to city, but that is a very minor change. Apart from these allowances, you will be getting allowances for attending international conferences. You will be given like reimbursement of your telephone and all. You will be given charges for keeping secretary at a higher level for your personal PA. You at a higher level you will be given charges for also for maintaining your office. And this is all about the central government. In state government, the pay is highly variable. In Delhi and in Rajasthan, UP, in these states, the pay is very high, almost close to the central government. But the pay is a relatively lesser in the South India and in Northeastern India. But but at a minimum level, I think 70, 75,000 is a pay. Even the lowest pay in any state government is even more than 70, 75,000 for assistant professor, and at the level of professor it is around 1.5 lakh. In state government, Delhi government pays almost equal to the central government, and in UP and Rajasthan also the pay is more than more than 2.5 lakh for the level of professor. Some states allow private practice and some states do not. In North India, UP doesn't allow any kind of private practice, but it is allowed in MP, and I'm not very sure, but I think it is allowed in Maharashtra also. So what is the advantage with these private practice? That you will be leaving your non-practicing allowance, and there is an allowance which is 20% of your basic pay. This is basically non-practicing allowance. If you are taking that allowance, so you cannot do any kind of practice, but if you are leaving that allowance, you can do practice. It is a rule in some states, and in some states NPA is a part of salary which you cannot avoid. You have to take NPA and you are restricted from practice. And in central government, no practice is allowed. So at the pre and paraclinical branches, I have seen very less number of people doing practice. And one incident I want to share, that one guest faculty in my college came, and she basically she was an anatomist, and she told us that she is an anesthetician also. So what she has done, that she has completed her MBBS back there in 1995 or 96, and after that she has completed her diploma in anesthesia, and she has been practicing anesthesia since 20 years. And after that she wanted a chill life, a cool life, a definite pay. Then she had appeared in NEET PG. She has taken MS in anatomy, and after doing her MS in anatomy, she took a job of assistant professor in a government medical college, state government medical college. Now she is living her NPA. She is practicing regional anesthesia in the evening, and in the day she's an anatomist. One more incident I know, that one faculty is one faculty in a medical college in Maharashtra. I remember he is MD in physiology, and after his MD in physiology, he has taken diploma in tuberculosis and chest disease. So in the morning, he's working as professor of physiology in his college, and in the evening he has his own TB and chest clinic, and he's practicing as a pulmonologist there. So this is also something, but no one can refrain you, no one can restrict you from doing any kind of practice, because you are like MBBS. So even though you are an anatomist or you are a physiologist or you are a biochemist and all, you can practice. So this is all about teaching in a college. But if you're not teaching in a college, then what are the other aspects? Nowadays, like, the competition for the post graduation is increasing a lot. So there are a lot of portals which are opening for PG medical examination, preparation for PG medical exams. And the teachers who are teaching at these levels, these are the giants of their field. And there are some very famous teachers from Delhi and from Chennai, and from Kolkata, who are doing very well in PG coachings, and some from pharmacology, some from anatomy. Yeah, and there are some very famous teachers in anatomy and physiology and biochemistry. Each and every medical student knows their name. Each and every medical student used to scroll through their videos. nowadays. And in the first year it is very tough for all the students for getting in touch with the field and to read the standard books. So that is why most of the students are relying on YouTube and these PG coaching apps. The teachers who are working in these PG coaching app are having a lot of fame, a lot of money, and also a very tough life because they have to prepare lectures and all very quickly. The biggest advantage in these paraclinical branches is the peace of mind and the cool life, because in the clinical branches there is a lot of hustle and bustle, but if you compare it with these branches, paraclinical branches, there is not that much of stress. But it depends upon person to person, because I have seen that there are some people who are in community medicine branches or in forensic medicine branches, and they are working tirelessly day and night. So personal choice is also there. So apart from teaching, what you can do, I think in this part I have to go separately from branch to branch. That apart from teaching, what are the extra scopes? In anatomy, there is not that much of extra scope. Anatomy is also not having any kind of laboratory practice, but yes, you can do some researches, because embryology and histology fields, these are also under the anatomy. So there are, so you can do further. You have studied embryology, so you can do further DM in genetics. See, actually there is a particular set of specialties which are designed for a particular DM, but DM genetics is the only branch which only offer a PG degree. Doesn't matter you are MD, MS, DNB in any specialty, you can do DM in genetics. But DM in genetics is mostly done by people who are from ops and gynae background, pedia background, or biochemistry background. But even after anatomy also, you can do DM in genetics and can work in this and can do research. But apart from teaching, there is not much work for an anatomist in the field. For a physiologist, it is also the same, but in physiology a lot of research in like cognition physiology, cognition neurophysiology is going on. And nimhans in Bangalore is conducting a lot of researches on that. And in nimhans there are a lot of courses after MD in physiology, about like in PhDs in neurophysiology, PhD in cognitive physiology. And there are also many mental health and neurophysiology institutes in which the MD physiology candidates are getting jobs for further researches. And in and AIMS Patna, I think AIMS Patna is also running a DM in interventional and clinical physiology. So there are some interventional aspects and some radio frequency ablation and all. These are also trained to the physiology candidates, and also the clinical part of physiology. Although there are very few seats, but yes, there are seats for that. Anatomy and physiology are the subjects in which there is a lot of deficiency for a qualified MS or MD candidate. Like in anatomy, the degree is rewarded MS in some colleges and MD in some colleges. And for physiology, it is MD in all the colleges. In most of the government colleges, even nowadays, the people who are joining at the level of assistant professor are MSc and PhD. They are not MD and MS. I remember that in MP, once there was a time that only one MS anatomy was selected for assistant professor in 4 government medical colleges. And what he did, he further joined a private medical college at a higher pay, because that particular private medical college wanted to be as per the NMC guideline to avoid the D recognition. So this was the case with anatomy once. And in physiology also, like a lot, like even in my colleges in anatomy and physiology, the post for assistant professor was empty for a lot, was vacant for a very long time. Biochem, on the other hand, is having a good private practice, even if you avoid teaching, because biochemistry includes all the serum tests, the serum cholesterol, the serum LDL, the lipid profile, the KFTs, all the function tests and all are done under biochemistry. And even in COVID, the RT-PCR and all was also like it was done under pathology, microbiology, and biochem. All three were doing RT-PCR at that time. So biochemistry is a field in which even if you are not teaching either in a government medical college and a private medical college, you can open your own laboratory and you can set up your private practice. And there is also a lot of scope of research in biochemistry, because biochemistry is the field which deals with molecular biology and genetics. So whenever there is a genetics, and whenever there are some vacancies by either CSIR or ICMR or any private research firms, if you are a good, if you are MD in biochemistry from a good institute having a good research background, you will definitely get a very good package, very good package in these kinds of firm. In ICMR, and or in CSIR, after you have completed your MD, you will be equal to someone who has completed their MSc and then PhD in molecular biology. So by doing your MD, you can directly join as scientist, and there are all ladders for promotion there: scientist, then senior scientist, then principal scientist, until the level of director general. So this is all about biochemistry in private practice. Biochemistry in private practice is although not that much common, because the number of MD biochem graduate are very less. So all the serum analysis are also done by pathologists, because they are in a very huge number. So they are doing their own histopathological examinations, and they are also performing the serum examinations.
Can we summarize the first year subjects now? Is it because a lot of information you have told?
Yes, so in summarizing it, so anatomy is mostly all about teaching. There is a very less scope outside teaching in anatomy, because the research scope is also less, and it is confined to mostly your embryological researches and all. And in physiology, there is the mostly it is a teaching, but the research scope is a lot in cognitive neurophysiology and all. And in biochem is the field which is more versatile, because it will be offering you the option for teaching. It will be offering you the option for researches, like in molecular biology and all, molecular biology and biotechnology. And in practice, also you can practice you can open your own laboratory, and you can practice, you can sign all the reports and all. So this was all about the first year subject. Second, nowadays there are three major subjects, which are the pathology, pharmacology, and microbiology. Nowadays, forensic medicine has been shifted to third year. And apart from these subjects, PSM, the older name was PSM, preventive and social medicine, nowadays community medicine. Community medicine is a subject which is being taught from students right from first year to third year, and the final exam has been taken third year, because it is the one of the largest subjects. So in second year, the first and foremost, the most important subject is the pathology. Pathology is again very versatile. Pathology includes all three: the research, the teaching, and the practice. In pathology, there are a lot of candidates, so getting post for assistant professor is although tougher than what it was in anatomy or physiology and biochemistry. So because there is a lot of competition in pathology. And in private practice also, there is a lot of competition in pathology, because a lot of labs are opening, and as the technology has been progressed, so there are so many tests which are done by machinery at the technician level. So the pathologists have to be very fine with their work to make their own name. And in pathology, that is why the DMs are also emerging, like DM histopathology and DM in hematopathology. These are the branches which are emerging nowadays. Histopathology is having a very good scope, because at the tissue examination after biopsy, it is a very skilled work, and it is done only by a very good pathologist. So the fellowships and DM in histopathology is on boom right now. And in pathology, the research scope regarding cancer is a lot. And see, in doing research, you don't have to search for jobs which are having only research. If you are in teaching job, if you are working as an assistant or associate or professor in medical college, having a very good orientation of research, thus all the main researches are from our country are published by the central institutes. So you don't have to wait for vacancies in ICMR or CSIR and all. If you want to perform researches, you can just join as assistant professor, and you can carry on your research ideas in your own medical college. In pathology, one peculiar thing I have been noticed, that the departments of pathology have a lot of vacancies nowadays. Like even in my college, after community medicine, the biggest department was pathology. So pathology has been a large department in most of the medical colleges, and pathology department is one of the largest in the central institute. See, three departments I've noticed, that the pathology department, the anesthesiology department, and surgery department. These three departments are very large by any big institute. So that is why more number of vacancies will be there in central institutes also. And pathology is a and all these branches offer you a lot of like safety in medical legal aspect, and you will not be facing the patient directly, so you will be safe from mob and all. But there are some exceptions which I will be explaining you further. And after your MD in pathology, the next branch is pharmacology. Pharmacology is a branch which will offer you all the it will offer you teaching, it will offer you research, but instead of practice, pharmacology is the branch which will offer you a corporate lifestyle. If you are in pharmacology and you are associated with a pharma company, pharmaceutical multinational pharmaceutical company, your life will be just like a corporate employee, completely like a corporate employee. There is although difference in a difference of life of a doctor who is working in a corporate hospital and someone who is working in an MNC. But pharmacology, you will not get the life of a doctor. You will get the life of an MNC employee if you are working in a multinational pharma companies. There is a lot of travel in pharmacology, the advertisements for the drugs and the deals and all and the trials of the drugs. So pharmacology has a lot of scope in private field, and there is also a very good pay in these branches. Mostly they get package based pay, so from 30-35 lakhs to 70-80 lakhs for senior employees. This could be the pay for pharmacology. And pharmacology is a little bit tough subject to understand also, so the good teachers who are in pharmacology are really doing very well in online platforms. Like one of the biggest teachers of online platform, and head of and owner of some very prestigious coachings like Cerebellum Academy and all. They are from pharmacology background. And even if you are in pharmacology background and you want to practice, then you will be also having a very good knowledge for drugs and all. So you can practice also. It is, although practicing is an option after every branch, but there are some branches which pull you away from your clinical practice. Like anatomy is a branch which pulls you away from your clinical practice. But like pharmacology and community medicine, these are some branches which are close to your clinical practice, a bit closer to your clinical practice. And after that, it is the microbiology. Microbiology will also open you the teaching, the research, and practice also, because all the virology tests and all the cultures and all are done by the microbiology exclusively. And microbiology is very important nowadays because there is a lot of antimicrobial resistance going on. So the research regarding the antimicrobial resistance and all are very much concerned with this field, microbiology. And in microbiology, there is a lot of administrative aspect also, because there are a lot of fields which includes AIDS and tuberculosis and all. So microbiology people who are also active in public health and all in these types of infectious disease, they are also working with WHO, and they are also getting promoted in the level in the WHO itself. So like working in WHO is really a very prestigious job, although it is not a government job. It is no less government job if you are working in a field like WHO. Microbiology also, in microbiology there is a lot of like competition for the post of assistant professor, and microbiology is a very good field if you consider like getting posted in ICMR and CSIR, because a lot of vacancies in CSIR, like in CSIR, there are different vacancies for mycology, different vacancies for bacteriology, different vacancies for virology, and all these vacancies are taken up by MD microbiology for the post of like junior scientist, and further on you will be getting promoted in those fields. And coming on to the third year, there are majorly two subjects: your community medicine and your forensic medicine. Community medicine and forensic medicine, these are a bit of administrative like subjects. Not that much in forensic medicine, but community medicine is totally an administrative subject. In this subject, you will be taught about the health economics, the public health, and epidemiology, and these are the very important aspects of health which no doctor should avoid. These are the public health aspects, the health economics, and it could be it could be it is must for a general physician also. It is must for a clinician to know about all that. So community medicine is the branch which is very close to your clinical practice. And in community medicine, it is an integration of almost all the subjects: medicine, surgery, ENT, ortho, even the microbiology and pathology and all are integrated in community medicine itself. So community medicine, the first of all, teaching, getting a post of assistant professor in community medicine, not a very tough task, because the number of community medicine people are not that much, because community medicine is a subject which most people find a bit theoretical. But if you look into the community medicine, into the subject, it is a very fascinating and interesting subject. And community medicine, apart from teaching, I also consider the administrative aspect are best in community medicine, because there is a separate cadre for the public health specialist in the central health services. And once you get into that public health services, you will be posted in institutes like NCDC or AIDS control or TB control and all. And there are also some institutes for non-communicable diseases. There will be national programs. So at that level, you will be having a sound level of administration over your hand, and your promotions are also very fast. You will be further promoted to the level of XC2 joint secretary, and after completion of your 13 14 years of service as a public health specialist. Even if you join as an MBBS doctor in central health service, and after that, by taking the quota from the government, if you are into community medicine, so even then you can climb the ladder very quick. And all the important posts of like ADG ADGHS, like additional director general of health service and all, are occupied by the community medicine people. And these community medicine people are the ultimate bosses of, they are having a lot of powers. So this was all about central government. Even in state governments nowadays, a public health cadre is being separated in many states. And in future, the most important post for medical in the district, which is the CMO, the chief medical officer or chief district medical officer, in some states nowadays, MPH, Masters in Public Health, or MD Community Medicine. These are the necessary qualifications for becoming CMO. So those specialists who are having MD in Community Medicine will be getting promoted to the CMO level faster. Even before the CMO level, the important posts like district tuberculosis officer or divisional or district level surveillance officer, these are the posts which are occupied by the PSM people or community medicine people. Community medicine is also the feeder specialty for the post of the surveillance medical officer. So if you want to become a consultant in WHO, you have to first join as surveillance medical officer, and further on you will be getting promoted as a consultant, and you will be firstly getting a important division under you, then zone under you, then states under you, and further on you will get promoted, and at a very high level. And you will be if you are very well with your field, and you are very senior, you will be having your offices in France and Geneva and all. So that is also a very lucrative field. I think community medicine is one of the best field if you don't want to limit your specialization only to your country. Community medicine is the field in which you can expand your specialization globally, because at the junior level also, once you join WHO and all, you will be posted in areas which are marginalized. You will be posted in Nigeria, or you will be posted in Bangladesh, or you will be posted in Ethiopia and all. So you have to prove yourself. You have to prove your administrative, because these are the broken health systems, and you have to go and replace those health systems. So it is a very fascinating if you want to join WHO as a community medicine. And the third one is the research. See, what doesn't matter what kind of research is going on in a medical college or in any other field, the data processing, the biostatistics are always under community medicine department. So it doesn't matter the data, that particular research is going on into biochemistry department or pathology, or in some other field like pharmacology. They will be further sending the data to the PSN department, and PSN department will process that data and will get the result out of them. So PSM is very important in that particular point. And all the like epidemiological studies, like the case report, case control, and your case series, and apart from it, the interventional studies like the randomized trial controls, non-randomized trial controls, these all are done by the community medicine people. So they are also having a link between the paraclinical and clinical part. If you want to practice as a clinician, then also community medicine offers you a very huge variety for working as a clinician, because in community medicine there is a lot of part which is similar to general medicine. You will be taught about all the diagnosis, prognosis, and management of all the non communicable diseases, which are and all the tropical diseases, and all the major infectious diseases like common cold and tuberculosis and all. So this is the you will be basically taught about all the tropical diseases, all the diseases which are there at a particular place in which you have to practice. And I have seen some MD community medicine, some MD community medicine graduates who are doing very well in their general practice, because apart from all this, they have been taught a lot of extra skills through their community medicine, like the skills in public health, the skills in advertising, and also some other fields like geriatric medicine is a field which is a separate field although, but geriatrics is also part of community medicine. Psychiatry and mental health is also part of community medicine. So if you are community medicine, you will be getting understanding of these fields, these parameters, which are like apart from your basic clinical practice. So that will also make a huge impact when you are sitting in your own clinic. In community medicine, the government jobs are immense, the private jobs are also immense, because in private jobs also, like NGOs and all are also keeping community medicine, MD community medicine. And after community medicine, you will be knowing about all the laws of public health and surveillance and all, medical legal laws and all. So you can also open your own NGO. So that is also an option after community medicine. And in community medicine, I've seen that there are so many professors who are working in their own medical college, and they are doing projects from like international projects, I remember one person I met on Quora, and he was professor in community medicine in Gujarat, and he was also working on Bill Gates project on population control. So he was getting paid from that particular project also, and their job also, and it is there in almost all the fields, that the research grants which you will be getting, you are the authority, signing authority for that grant. You are the one who will be regulating that how that particular grant, research grant, will be distributed in various aspects. So a lot of financial power is also there. The most apart from it, the most interesting specialty which is left is it is a forensic medicine. It is the only specialty which is only specialties apart from anatomy which is not dealing with the living people. So there is no scope for private practice. How can you do autopsies in private practice and all? Huh? So uh, forensic medicine, the core forensic medicine is limited only to the government field. You will be working with the state government, with the police departments, or you will be working in a medical college, and in a medical college as an assistant professor. Further you will get promoted. The best thing in forensic medicine are the contacts. You will be having direct contact with the commissioner, with the police commissioner, with the SPs, SSPs and all, with the judges, with the senior lawyers, because you are the core, you are the most important signing authority for any kind of investigation. All investigations of any kind of homicide is based upon your report. So that is why it is a very important aspect. So one thing which I have explained, that these are the fields which are very safe, medico legally, and as well as in and mob kind of thing. But forensic medicine is a field which is a little bit unsafe whenever it comes to some high profile cases. Then all the pressure would be on your report. So if you will be responsible for emotions and all, for a very huge crowd of the people. Community medicine is also having a bit threat of mob, because all the CSCs and PSCs, these are headed by when these are headed by community medicine people. So whenever there is any kind of mishappening at the level of CSCs, and also they can also face mob from the people. So only that is why nowadays there is a family adoption program which is going on for MBBS students right from the first year, so that they will be exposed to the local people, so that they can understand the emotions of the local people, and and the cultural beliefs and all from the local people. So it is also part of community medicine. In forensic medicine, if you are not in government service, you are in private. So definitely you will either be teaching in a private medical college, or you will be teaching in a PG coaching platform, because there is no scope for practice in forensic medicine in private. So summarizing all that, almost all the pre and paraclinical branches are teaching based branches. Apart from teaching, one more thing which they can do: research. Research is the field which is like not exclusive for the for the pre and paraclinical branches, but there is a lot of scope in these branches, because they are actually studying the normal mechanisms of the body and abnormal mechanisms of the body. So they will be having an upper edge in discriminate in sorting anything new out. And they are also the one more thing which I got, which I learned nowadays, that these pre and paraclinical branches, the people from pre and paraclinical branches are the one which are more happy, because they are dealing with first year students or second year students. So when you are dealing with young people, the youth inside you always remains alive. And one more thing which I want to add, that in that the administrative level, the all the administrative level posts in academics, like the medical superintendent or dean of a medical college, most of these posts are taken up by the people in paraclinical branches, because again, what I have explained, that if you have stuck to that one particular medical college, then you have to wait for the next vacancies. In most of the clinical branches, most of the faculties are having their own practice settled in that particular city. So if they want to get promoted to the next higher level, they have to change the city, and they have to restart their practice again in a new city. So most of the people generally sacrifice their post, and they get stuck to their practice, so they get promoted a bit later than their paraclinical counterparts. So that is why paraclinical counterparts are having more chances of getting higher post in these fields.
Oh, so mind blowing information you told. And this kind of a research is very difficult to do in pre and paraclinical subjects. Actually, it is a little easier to do the research in clinical subjects because you can find people. But finding people in this anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, it's very difficult for a person like me who works in corporates and bigger hospitals. We don't get to meet these people. I think you have done a wonderful job, and a lot of information, including salary, scope and salary are covered in this video, so that will be the title of this video. And abroad opportunities is one we also need to cover. I think if you have information, we'll discuss. Otherwise, some other video we should do on abroad, like other country, USA, UK,
Yes,
and
there are so abroad opportunities are there in like not that much in anatomy and physiology and all. But if you are involved in research field, and you are involved with in pharma companies, then you will be having a lot of abroad opportunities. That after your MD in pharma, if you are working in MNCs, and if you are good in working at a good level in NMCs, then in your MNCs, then definitely you will get call for the head offices and all. And community medicine is all about like abroad field, because you will be posted right from the to the country which is from the poorest country to Geneva. You can be posted anywhere. You can even be posted in disturbed countries, like in Pakistan. You can be posted. Bangladesh, you can be posted. So that's all about the community medicine also. In anatomy, there is not that much of abroad aspect, not that much in physiology also. But if you are doing a good research in any kind of field, and you are associated with an MNC, then definitely you will get a lot of research aspects outside India. And there are also observerships and fellowships for the candidates who are working in CSIR and ICMR. So like CSIR and ICMR, these institutes also sponsor fellowships, 1 or 2 year fellowships in US or UK mostly. So that is also a good aspect. So if you are having during that 2 years, if you had good links with the professors there, so then after your retirement and all, you can go and settle there as a permanent researcher and all. But for becoming teachers in those medical colleges, there is a separate hierarchy. So it is not that much easy to become professors in those institutes. But although you can become researchers in like John Hopkins and Michigan universities and all, you can become researchers in those universities very easily if you are from CSIR or ICMR background.
Got it, got it, got it. But what about forensic medicine? Any abroad opportunity will be there? Like in
Forensic medicine in abroad is it is something which is a bit controversial because forensic medicine is all about like medical legal field. So a medical legal field, the rules and the medical legal rules are very much different if you consider one country from another. Not having that much information about this, but I think it is very tough to switch your country in a field like forensic medicine because it is all about the medical legal rules, and they are highly different in like two countries.
got it, got it, got it. But overall, what I felt is after listening to what you told, you'll have a cool and chill life with these specialities, and also
Yes,
better work-life balance will be there. The stress levels will be low, and then job security is more because the competition is lesser, right? So overall, I think it makes sense to take up pre and paraclinical now because the clinical is
yes,
saturated.
pay also.
Yeah.
The pay also, most of the people think like the pay in these branches are a bit less,
Yes.
but nowadays if you consider the pay in clinical branches, it is almost equal. If you have joined as at the level of assistant professor in a central institute, so after your 3 years of PG you will be getting around 2 lakhs per month. You will be having a settled life, you will be having allowances for international conferences and all. You will be having reimbursement at many places. You will be having your government could also provide you like flats and all. So if you consider that versus someone who has done ortho PG, so after 3 years of ortho PG, I have seen very less people who are practicing. Like most of them are involved in fellowships and senior residency and all. So if you compare with that also, so at like beginning level, the pay is almost neck and neck if you consider clinical branches and paraclinical branches. But if you are in clinical branches and you are doing very good private practice, then obviously there is no limit. But if you consider the paraclinical branches and teaching in PG coaching, doing a lot of researches or getting a high post in MNCs, then also it could be neck and neck. So I don't consider there is a lot of disparity in pay. But yes, one thing there could be the public recognition. Like if I am in community medicine and if I explain my family that if someone asks me that what kind of specialist I am, and I explain them that I am a community medicine specialist, so no one will firstly recognize that what is basically community medicine. So this is something which is a bit it could be a con for some people if they
Yeah,
are
but I'll tell you, I
they are
am
in.
very much, I can relate to this situation because I'm anesthesiologist, right? So when I told my family that I'm going to take up anesthesiology, they were very unhappy because they felt that anesthesia is like behind the screen specialty, and then why do you want to give do this specialty, become a surgeon or a general physician is what they recommended. But after doing it now, what I feel is anesthesia is more safer actually too. Safer in the sense the job security is more than other specialties. Any hospital, as you told, 30-35 people will be there. So every hospital requires more anesthesiologists. And the payment also is better than many junior surgeons and unsuccessful surgeons. A very successful surgeon is a
Yes,
different story, but how many are there like that? That also we should factor in.
yes,
No? In a city, I can see only like 10, 15, and 20 very successful people, and super successful guys are only 4 to 5 in a city with a crore population. Okay, but anesthesiologists will make upper middle class income. They can reach upper middle class lifestyle in a good community. They can stay and all that. So, but among the family, you'll not have popularity. You should be used to that.
yes, sir. That is true with other branches also. So like in even radiology also. In radiology, doesn't matter that you have cracked your NEET post graduation examination with a very high rank. You took radiology in a central institute, but no one will understand that what is the value of your diagnosis in what is the main value of your value in patient care, because because everyone like it It is not everyone's cup of tea to examine USG and all, USG or CT film and interpret the diagnosis. And one more thing, one I don't remember who said it, but I have heard it someone saying that in Bangalore, if you are a nephrologist, so you could be jobless, but if you are an anesthesiologist, you could never be jobless. You can get vacancies in almost any hospital.
Like, that is true. Because a busy big hospital like where I am working would require maximum of 2 to 3. That's it, nephrologists. But anesthesia team will be 25 plus.
Yes, sir.
So that is the number of anesthesiologists required to run
Yes, sir.
a hospital of 300 bed capacity.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for example, if you go to 1,000 bedded hospitals, they would require 50 plus anesthesiologists. A similar number
Yes, sir.
for pathology. Pathology, that many might not be required, but intensive care,
Surgeons may be required, general surgeons only. Yes, sir.
general surgeons. See, general surgery like a specialty won't be there in bigger corporates. So what happens is the
Yes, sir.
super specialty segments will be there. The neuro,
Yes, sir.
cardiac, and transplant. And in general surgeon won't be there, but there will be gastro surgeon who has done his MCH, and
Yes, sir.
onco-surgeon will be there. So this is a
Yes, sir.
different
Although,
problem.
sir, there is one specialty which I very admire a lot. It is rural surgery. There are very less seats for DNB in rural surgery. It is there in Saint Stephen's and in some missionary hospital in Dehradun. Only these two are offering the
What
rural surgery
surgery?
course.
I'm not. What, your voice is breaking. Which surgery you're talking about?
Rural surgery, sir.
Rural surgery.
Sir, rural surgery, sir. Rural surgery, sir. In this, so rural surgery is a specialty in which in that particular phase of 3 years, all the superficial surgeries like the basic general surgeries, basic ophthalmology, basic orthopedic surgery, basic ENT, onco, and basic trauma, all of the and basic even basic anesthesia also is taught to a one particular surgeon, so that particular surgeon can work at the level of CHC and can manage all the like basic modalities which occur. So if more and more people get trained in rural surgery also, so they are in tier 3 cities and they can also establish a good general surgery practice over there also, because they could even invade ENT and invade in ortho and all, apart from their general surgical skills.
It might work out because, but basic surgeries, if they do, it might work out in a basic level. For example, some fracture comes, basic cast putting, and then some basic
Yes, sir.
ENT work, basic work. If they do, then they can refer the
Yes,
patient
sir.
for a specialized care if they
Yes, sir.
cannot deal it at any point of time. It might work out.
Yes, sir.
My next video I'm doing on a very interesting topic, that is why smaller hospitals are in losses. Actually, I've done all my research and everything in that. So in that,
Yes, sir.
one of the ways to overcome is this kind of rural surgery. Like if you have somebody who can do multiple things, you can actually cut down the cost of operation. Like for
Yes, sir.
example, one person only can do more. So if you give one salary to him, you will actually cut down the operating costs, and your profit margin will increase for smaller hospitals.
Yeah.
So that is the problem actually. Next video I'll release that in 2 3 days. It will be an interesting one. So in rural
Yes, sir.
surgery might be a
And
problem there.
yes, sir. One more thing which I have noticed, sir, that the smaller nursing homes, which are very successful, even in tier 2 or tier 1 cities, they are mostly run by either by general physicians or general surgeons.
Mm.
So I think there could be the same concept that they themselves are doing most of the work on their own. That is why they are cost cutting on the employees.
Cardiology, nephrology, diabetology, endocrinology, everything they only do. So
Yes, sir.
that is why they're clicking. Operating costs are coming down. And the second thing would be they will have a patient base. So for a small hospital to run, you need to have a patient base.
Yes, sir.
So for example, if I pass my MD, I come out in 1 2 years. If I make a big, not a small, for 50 to 70 bed hospital, it won't run. I need to have a consistent flow of patients should be there. Only then we can run.
Yes, sir.
Like the 2 3 people should be there in a small hospital for running a 50 to 75 bedded like that. That is where people are not
Yes, sir.
understanding. I'm seeing many people, they're coming out making a hospital. Particularly in northern part of India, it is very common actually. They come out, they make a hospital.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
Like like my father is like a biology teacher.
mm,
And he's in Kendriya Vidyalaya Central schools. He's from 93 out there. So many of his students are also doctors. And one of his student I remember is like he is currently in Ayodhya, and he's around 33, 34 years of age. He has completed his DNB general surgery. He has done 1 year of SRship. He practiced for 2 years, and now he is having his own nursing home.
see,
So it is very common for general surgeons, like general surgeons married to a gynecologist. They have opened their own hospitals, or
this,
gynecologists married to a pediatrician
yeah.
have their own hospitals.
No, the
This is
combination is
very
perfect. But
common.
they need to invest 7 to 8 years and build up a consistent patient flow actually. So if they make a
Yes, sir.
hospital, what happens is the break-even point they'll reach early. I'll explain
Yes, sir.
what is break-even point and what is all that. These business logistics people, doctors won't understand. We will think that we'll set up the hospital and then in 6 months to 1 year it will click. It won't click like that. So last year,
Yes, sir.
110 hospitals actually filed bankruptcy. So we have to be careful. And there are
Yes,
some
sir.
doctors who suicided also, unfortunately, in Andhra Pradesh. I came to know about that story also. So all these things are happening because of the lack of knowledge. That's why I thought I should do that video and create some awareness.
Yes,
So
sir.
then,
So one
very,
more
yeah, tell please, sir.
One more thing which I have noticed, sir, that like I have been now in this field for around 1 year now.
Mm.
So I think the doctors are the biggest enemies for doctors, which I have been noticing after getting into medical college. What seniors are misguiding the juniors, residents are misguiding the interns. So everyone is misguiding each other. So in this scenario, like we need someone who can really give genuine advice to someone without any kind of personal bias.
That is why our channel is there, no? I'm calling all the,
Yes, sir.
we're doing interviews, podcasts, and I'll even call, big guys in future and we'll give correct
Yes,
information to
sir.
people so that they'll not be misguided. And there is some kind
Yes,
of
sir.
entrepreneurship skills also the doctors need to develop in the due course,
Yes, sir.
and that will help even.
And so one more video, sir. It's my personal request. A video on unconventional branches. Unconventional branches, including like radiotherapy
Mm,
and your family medicine and geriatric medicine, pain and palliative medicine,
mm,
and one more specialty like tropical medicine, aviation medicine. So if you can like unite all these specialties in one video, then it could
one
be
video
very helpful video.
I'll do that. Monday, I'm doing a podcast with interventional radiology. Many people have
Yes,
requested
sir.
that video. So after radiology, that's a fellowship actually. So that I'm
Yes,
shooting.
sir.
That will be a good
Yes, sir.
specialty which is coming up. A lot of demand in
Interventional.
interventional radiology. So what is interventional
Yes, sir.
radiology? What they do and why are they in demand?
Yes,
So
sir.
all those things will come. They're getting very good
So I am like
candidates actually.
I am in Satna, sir. It is a tech developing tier two city. But what I have seen in Satna is that there are only one or two international radiologists,
Mm.
and they are like practicing. And one radiologist is only practicing biopsies, ultrasound guided biopsies,
Mm.
and he is doing very well in his career.
Mm.
He's always having a waiting period for 3 or 4 weeks only for a biopsy. So like one thing all I understood that so many people consider that if you want to practice your own setup in your own setup in interventional radiology, so you need a lot of backup. So it is not that much true, because even if you are only having a good ultrasound machine and you're having a good biopsy skills, so then you can do ultrasound guided biopsies, which is the major chunk for an interventional radiologist. Doesn't matter, you can't do an aneurysm coiling or like biliary stenting or all, but like biopsy and all can make a good living.
Yes. So any place you can do this, correct? No, that is what you're telling. Even in tier
Yes,
three,
sir.
tier four towns also
Yes,
you
sir.
can do. Super. So then,
Yes, sir.
super.
One thing, sir, in my
Yeah, your
my
university is
interview, I
good.
haven't. Yes, I haven't mentioned it in my video, but sir, my physiology HOD,
Mm.
he's like very good man. He has done his MD in physiology, and after that DNB in pediatrics. and he is doing very well in pediatrics, and he's a very good teacher of physiology because he correlates everything with a clinical practice. So it
Oh,
becomes very easy for us to understand all the clinical part for clinical aspects of physiology.
which one? So, physiology guys are eligible for DM in this one, pediatrics here. So, MD pediatrics.
No, sir, DM. He has done MD in physiology, and after that
Hmm.
again he sat and NEET PG,
And
and
again, did
he has
MD diploma.
completed his again did DNB in pediatrics. MD physiology is eligible for DM genetics and DM in interventional and interventional and clinical physiology. Interventional and clinical physiology are one thing I heard from somewhere that what you do in neuroanesthesiology is intercranial pressure monitoring and all. It is also trained in interventional and clinical physiology in AIMS Patna, I think, but I was not very sure about it. That's why I not mentioned it.
So then, Dr. Abhijit, very good research you have done. Thank you very much. This video is going to help many students, and we created the awareness among the MBBS students. And my recommendation is not to go and compete in areas where already people are competing, and all the intelligent guys compete on the 4 or 5 branches only. Everyone wants to do medicine, surgery, pediatrics, and some women want to do gynecology and orthopedics. So they don't want to come a step below. The main problem is that only they want to prove to the family and colleagues that they're worth. But that is not the point, right? You need to, have security. You need to have work-life balance. You need to have upward opportunities, research scope, growth in the career. These are the things that they need to see. But you just to feed your ego, you should not take a specialty. You agree, no?
Yes, sir. Definitely, because like in one of your previous video, you have said that if you want to be successful in life early, then you have to compete with guys. So, if I consider someone who is at about rank of 20,000. So at 20,000, then that particular person, if he wanted to enter in the mainstream medicine, the only option which is left is either doing your diploma in ophthalmology, diploma in ENT, or diploma in family medicine. But at 20,000 rank, you will be getting a very good college of community medicine or forensic medicine or microbiology. So if you are doing these kinds of these courses from central institutes and all, then you will be the top notch for that particular specialty. And like top notch for a paraclinical specialty is something which is not very easily achievable for something who is in a clinical branch, because you cannot match that particular academic level of a central institute by doing diploma in any clinical branches.
So thank you very much, and we'll meet in some other intro in future. It's become very late actually. Everyone would be partying on Saturday night, but we both are doing the interviewless interviews in the Saturday evening. That is the kind of, and I really appreciate your commitment, and you can keep doing like this. And I think the whole India will follow you in future. In medicine only, if you're doing like that, once you become postgraduate, I think you'll do more and more content which will help a lot of students. You will become a superstar in future. Okay. So good luck, and we'll
Thank you,
meet in
thank
the
you so
next
much.
video.